Hey everybody, how are we? How is it going this first Saturday of December? Crazy. It's like warp speed or something. I don't even know. We're just whipping through this year. It's almost done. The whole 2025 thing, just about done. Exciting times because in 2026, a lot of new stuff's coming. Yeah. And we have to be diligent in keeping ourselves in the right space so that the stuff that shows up in our door is good stuff. Good stuff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Psychic Saturday Night Live. December 6th. December edition. Already. 2 times. Hello, hello. So yeah, we just came through a very intense full moon for people. A lot of energy happening. The whole week has been pretty wonky, I think, for a lot of people. A lot of ups and downs, big time. And I know I talk about it all the time, but that's because that's what's happening all the time for people. So yeah, if this is the case for you, just know you're not alone. Not that that's any small consolation. It's only a small consolation, rather, I can tell you. It's because we're moving through things, shifting into new spaces. Yep. And elevating to occupy new places of consciousness, new vibrational spaces for ourselves. Very cool time to be on this planet. And a very important time at that. And you chose to be here. You chose to be here, right now, through all this chaos. No mistakes. No mistakes. Even though, there's a lot of interference that goes on, we still get the chance to be here doing what we want to do. Because ultimately our souls are like, yeah, I got a game plan here and I'm going to fulfill it. So yeah, it's perfect time for all of us to be waking up and becoming empowered in our stuff. So tonight we're doing tarot, as we always do. We're going to do the brick, like we always do. And tonight, I'm not quite sure which one yet, but I've got these two. Well, I've got a couple of decks, but I know I got another hole in my head. Yeah. Which one? Of course. We're going to go with this one, the Modern Merlin Oracle deck. Brand spanking new. To me, anyway. I've got a couple by this particular author, I guess is the way to put it. Yeah. So, we still have some planets in retrograde, even though Mercury went direct, and thank God for that, because everything was a bit of a kookiness up until then. Weird weather habits, for those who are noticing those too, weather changes, like fluctuations in the energy of the weather. Oh my God, up and down, like temperature-wise, crazy, like fluctuations of 10, 20 degrees even, pretty significant. So we know that there's something afoot, we'll say, is definitely the deal there. So, look at that. As I cut the deck to find out the mind, body, and spirit, the first two cards we see are spirit cards. The Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles says we can depend on spirit. We all have to just call on spirit and to acknowledge from the highest places the support, the assistance, and the guidance that we have asked for, right? To show up and to assist us here in this place. That's what this is telling you. This says, have no fear. Your heart support is here. This is kind of like the knight in shining armor who rescues the maiden, and not necessarily that we're in distress, but some of us are having some challenges, and so it's nice to know the spirit has decided to let us all know tonight that they're with us, and they are assisting from the sidelines as best they can, offering us energy, because of course they're not physical anymore or at all at this point. That Knight of Pentacles keeps coming up. It's going to probably show up one more time because generally it happens in threes at least, as a minimum. And then the Two of Swords offers us a new perspective, a balance here in the mind, where we feel better. You know, we are more at ease, more at peace, more in a place of acceptance, even in some cases, for some things, perhaps. That's okay too. That's a good thing. And final shuffle, because we usually shuffle threes. One more time. All right. Knight of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles. Now this card, depending on where you are, here and here, can mean a number of different things, right? For those who are in places of real deep challenge and emotional upset, this is a card of uncertainty from a place of fear. Oh my God, you know, what's going on? For those of those of us who are not necessarily in a place of fear, and we're just kind of questioning what the heck is going on, this can be just a very simple question of, you know, uncertainty. Not necessarily doubt, but uncertainty. We're not quite sure what's going on, right? There's a very different feel to one, you know, aspect that is fear-based, and the other aspect that is not fear-based. So keeping that in mind, of course, yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, here we go. Welcome to everyone who's watching here tonight and who will be seeing me in the replay, the recording, whatever the heck it is. Yeah. Okay. We got Merlin. Oh, you want me to do some housekeeping first? All right. Let's do the housekeeping, get it out of the way. That way I don't have to interrupt anything. I know. Yeah. Who hates to do housekeeping? But here we are. A number of different things we need to know about. The Know Thyself is still open and running and accepting a couple more people. A couple more men and women who are ready to make the commitment to themselves, to their soul, and to source. Deep dive into who you really are, what we're here for, how we came to be where we are, and how we get out of where we are. It's kind of an important thing to know, because you know what? Otherwise, you're going to just keep looping. And so, you know what? I'm going to tell you, not everybody's ready for that, because that's a whole, whoa, that's a bit of a mind, you know. But that's okay, because those who are ready will definitely, you know, jump in. And I got a couple of spots left. It's a major commitment that you're going to make for yourself, to your source. And again, it's liberating, right? It liberates the soul from the trap that has been our soul trap here on this planet. So check it out. If you're interested, put a comment, put your comment in the comments and we'll talk, you know, get a hold of me and whatever. And also, we've got a couple other things going on. We just dropped the new module for the body in the, which of course is the Emancipation Experience, the Mind, Body, Soul Emancipation Experience. That's the Sovereignty Trifecta. We dropped the mind one a couple months ago, actually, and then we kind of been working out how to compress the information, because there was just so much. I didn't want to overwhelm everybody, and I really wanted it to be something that people could grasp and actually work practically. So we did that. We brought it all down and we launched it this week, and it's amazing. And it's right now, the special price for launch is $155, and it's amazing. The information you're going to get from this is just incredible. And it really does teach you and help you extract yourself, teach you about the matrix and extract yourself from the system. And if you're ready for that too, at least even just to know about what's going on, trust me, you're going to want to know about that. So email me, comments, whatever, message me. It's all good. We'll get that too. And oh yeah, Magic and Miracles with Merlin, Meet the Claires, and is there one more, Merlin? The Intergalactic Federation Council series. These are 3 programs. All of them are 12 weeks in length, on sale. In fact, I don't know I don't know what's going on. Magic and Miracles of Merlin. Since we're letting go of 2025, we're going to take 2025 right off the top. So message me if you're interested in experiencing the Magic and Miracles of Merlin program, 12 weeks long. I'm going to tell you something. Working with this energy is absolutely magical and incredibly full of miracles. I can tell you, the name doesn't do it justice. So, you know, I can't even tell you anything other than it comes with a disclaimer that says this is not a program that you do. This is a program that does you. So the alchemy works once you say yes, and Merlin works his magic all the way through it. And he lets you know he's working with you. Trust me, there is no mistakes in your mind at all that you are working with some incredible energy there. Meet the Clairs is all about psychic development. We're going to put that over 25% off. And that's really awesome. It's an 8-week program that is jam-packed. It's like 20 gigabytes of information, activations, videos, audios. I mean, material, like it's full. It's absolutely incredible. And everybody loves it. I've had lots of people take this program. It's incredible. And it's very thorough. It's very thorough for what you get. Basically teaching you everything that I learned to work with and develop for myself over the years, because I wasn't always working my gifts the way I am now. You know, in my teens, I shut down, closed the door, nailed up the window to make sure that I wasn't hearing anything anymore, and actually kind of went about my business because I was a teenager and life was hard enough. So when I was in my early 20s and I started to open up again, these are the kinds of techniques that I actually used for myself to get me to not just open up, but to fine-tune and hone the skills and gifts that I had. So that might be of interest to you, of course. And there's a lot of talk about space, a lot of talk about 3i Atlas, a lot of talk about, dare I say, for entertainment purposes only, Facebook, extraterrestrial life. ETs, very real. Don't even think for a minute that they haven't been around all along. They have been. So the Intergalactic Federation Council, pretty amazing group of energies to work with. Another 12-week program. You get to go with them each individually and experience time, lessons, incredible engagement with these beings in this particular program. So it's going to also be on for 25% off. And so if you're interested in that, let me know. Another amazing program that when people come through that, they're just like, wow, I had absolutely no idea that we have all this support. And we do. You know, the lower realms and the lower vibrations, that's where all this not so nice stuff is. So anytime you're constantly seeing that kind of stuff, or you're finding yourself doom scrolling on your phone or whatnot, it's not because that's just what's there. It's because that's what you're attracting. Because there's a vibrational experience you're having that is a vibrational match to that. So just know you can rise above. You can rise above. I finally have it on. Look, I finally got it together. So you got to keep your vibrations high. If you're familiar with David Hawkins and the Power versus Force book, he did an emotional scale. These are where the vibrations of these emotional spaces are. You know, you got love at 500 megahertz. Reason is 400. Acceptance is 350. 310 is willingness. 0 point. If you can't be, even high up on the scale, then at least hit 0 point and balance yourself out. That means moving in from a place of courage to get there sometimes. So that's okay. Some of us are, experiencing moments of dipping into grief and anxiety, fear, craving, desire, anger, hate, scorn, pride. We gotta learn to keep ourselves up. Do what it takes to lift yourself into a higher vibration, and if it means for a moment taking your thoughts away from those things that are upsetting you and bringing you and keeping you down in these lower vibrations, putting yourself into a new vibrational space by thinking of something that brings you joy, or even watching something. Don't watch stuff that's sad. Don't watch stuff that's sad, or even stuff that touches your heart that, is heartwarming and makes you cry that way. You want something that's going to lift your vibration up into something that is joy and happiness and bliss, like lift that up there and vibrate at a higher place. It's very, very important. So I'm really glad I remembered to do that, because I've been talking about it and I keep forgetting. But there we are. So, where's it going with all that? It's all about where you are, keeping the awareness of where you are, and working the vibrations, because all the energies around you, are going to be a match to you. And you are the one that keeps that whole thing afloat, moving forward, right? So, amazing. We are really, really, truly amazing beings. And so work it. You got to be true to you, though. Who are you? What you're all about. So Intergalactic Federation, 25% off. Meet the Clairs is 25% off. And Magic and Miracles of Merlin has 2025 taken right off the top, which puts it to a ridiculous price. Anyway, and you get, with all of these programs, by the way, you get each week a half-hour call with me on the phone where we talk about anything and everything to do with you, the course, where you're at, what's happening for you, kinds of experiences you're having. It's like kind of getting a little meeting or a little reading every single week. It's really awesome, and people absolutely love it. So the program, the programs that I was selling for a while there without calls, we're going to bring back the calls so everybody has a chance to do that. Because hey, you know what? Calls make the program. So there we have it. And yeah, last but not least, the clearings are on still until December 10th. So if you're feeling a little bit off, a little bit wonky in your energy, like you just might need some help clearing some of that fog out, some of those thoughts, some of those feelings of anxiety that we were talking about. Trust me, it's not just you. Sometimes it's stuff that's affecting you, that's in the collective. The collective is a container of individual thoughts, belief systems that all clump together. And if the vibrational matching experience that we're having with your thoughts happens to us individually, then imagine what it's doing as a collective. All kinds of people who are buying into certain belief systems, certain thoughts, beliefs, traditions, customs, even religions, create energetic experiences, we'll call them, beings, thought forms, egregores. They're very real. And when you're tapped into them, tuned in, or at least in a place of alignment with them, you're gonna totally connect to that. And you'll feel the energy as it feeds in or feeds back from it. Okay? So just keep in mind, you are the one who thinks your thoughts. Don't let your thoughts think you, because that's the collective. That's you giving over, surrendering even, to something that is outside of you. Again, we're supposed to come back to us. Be true, be you. Go inside, find out who that is, what that's all about. All right. Oh, no, we're shuffled. All right, yeah. Three. Okay, got it, Merlin. I already shuffled, didn't I? Yes, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Mind, body, and what Spirit's got to say. Okay, I'm going to put those right there. Couple of big cards come down this time. But here we are, in the mind, 5 of Wands. We have already achieved greatness. Having the last almost a year now under our belts, working these thoughts, doing our weekly readings on where we are, mind, body, and spirit, where spirit is with us, where we are in this physical experience, and where we are here for ourselves. That's what this has always been about. This card, the 5 of Wands, is a card about, success and mastery and being able to be courageous and brave and move forward to face whatever comes our way. In this case, it's Jason facing the dragon to win back the golden fleece. It's a pretty powerful image, when you think about it, because here's a young guy, who has trained to be a hero, but you really don't know what you got until you're face to face with your fears and with those things that can scare you. But you've come a long way, and we're not in a place of the 5 of Pentacles. We're not in the place of the 5 of Swords. We're also not in the place of the 5 of Hearts. We're in the place of the 5 of Wands, which means that in this space of the 5 of Wands, we have already won. It's a sure thing, because the fact is we showed up to face those fears. We showed up. We weren't victims like the 5 of Swords or the 5 of Cups even. The 5 of Pentacles is, like I said, a card of uncertainty. So unless you're in a place of fear, it really kind of a neutral card in and of itself, really, in that it's sort of doesn't really hold a whole lot of sway at this point. It used to be very full of anxiety for a lot of years, for my experience anyway, but since COVID anyway, it really hit. We've got a lot of uncertainty, and unless you're in a place of fear, which a lot of people were and have been and still can be, it really doesn't hold the same power. But this 5 of Wands, now it's a different deal altogether, because this is about our victory. This is about moving into that place of success. Having come through hard times, having come through thoughts and experiences and belief systems that we have managed to overcome, get past, get through, work through, and change for ourselves, transform ourselves. It takes a lot of courage. And that Five of Wands shows us that we've had the courage. That no matter what conflict comes our way, we've got the courage because we've already come through so many of them already. The Five of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. This one, last one in the run. And it's a good sign because it means that we are now the masters. And as we, start to head out to, the end of this year, the energy of the year kind of winds down. Now, I'm going to tell you that that's only based on the calendar, right? Energetically, this year's not done until March. Just saying. And now I know why that is more than ever before. And of course, it has to do with the 13-month calendar that was the original calendar, not the one we're all living with right now. But anyway, okay. So, Five of Wands up here. Hold on. Getting a little bit of a download going on in my left ear here. And gratefully they're not making me yawn, so whatever that's all about. People have got people coming through all the time. Every time I'm on here. Anywho, hey, from the spirit world to all of you who are thinking about them, who have anniversaries around now of those you've lost, whether it's their birthday or their passing date, their wedding anniversary, whatever it might be, or just Christmas coming up. Just know that they're all around everybody right now, all the time. Excuse me. Unless they're getting ready to come back, they're pretty much available most of the time because they're here in that space, right? They're right there. So just saying. Sometimes they're busy. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you're like, nah, and you get this big old busy signal. Remember that from the phone? Yeah. But most of the time, that consciousness is right there, waiting to be acknowledged, accessed, connected to, aligned with, tuned into, whatever. All right. In the body space. Oops, I'm throwing the cards around tonight. The Sun card, a major card comes up. The Sun card in the physical world. Keep your light strong. Keep your light strong. Be radiant in it. The shining of our light is the most important experience we have. Best way to do that, of course, is to be in the higher realms. Be in the higher vibrational spaces. Don't get stuck below 0 point. Grief, despair, even courage, right? Courage still denotes, it's kind of like gratitude. In a sense, it's somewhat like a twofold polar kind of experience, or maybe a duality even, where you have kind of both. You've got a mixture of energies in there. Yeah, courage is I'm brave and I'm moving forward with it. Doesn't mean I'm not perhaps a little scared, slightly afeared, as we might think. We don't have to be terrified, but if you've got an element of, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is like insane that I'm doing this, or that, I'm moving forward with this, then there's that element of polarity that is going to be evident. So it's going to keep you just slightly below that 0 point, which is why, again, courage is down there. Pride, not too far away from pride, and scorn, but then anger and hate and all those other ones are really, really heavy, and they sit a little lower down on the scale here. But anger is not a bad thing. See how far up from the scale it is. If you're in a place of grief and regret or something like that, you've got some work ahead of you. A lot of times, because you got to get through the fear and the anxiety to get all the way up into this, desire and craving. But once you hit anger, you're motivated. Like you've got action ready. You're like, okay, we're going to do something about this. I'm like pissed right off. And oftentimes that is what actually pushes you up into a place of pride and then perhaps courage to actually move forward with that, element of bravery about you. To move into a place of balance, at least to get yourself the hell out of the dip, out of the red, for God's sakes, and back into the black, right? Energetically. So there you are, right? Shine your light bright. And whatever that takes for you, whatever it means for you, do it. Think about things that are joyful, happy, and make you laugh. Even if you have to distract yourself slightly, temporarily, from the things that are not making you laugh or joyful. Be true to you, though. And you owe it to yourself, okay? Like, that's really important. That's not just about diverting yourself or, again, bypassing anything at all. It's knowing how to work the energy and how to work your own vibration. We got to pivot sometimes, folks. And sometimes that's how you do it, right? To get into that place of light, you just got to shift from one place that was really, really dark into a new place that is not dark. And that means throwing on a video on YouTube maybe that makes you smile or laugh or giggle, you know, something funny or something heartwarming, but not, again, not in a place where you're going to start crying. Keep yourself higher into those vibrations of joy and happiness and bliss, right? Where you're giggling and just elated. That's what we need right now on the planet. That's the energy that is so necessary. And that's what makes your light shine the brightest it can possibly shine. So be in that space of elated joy and bliss, happiness, you know, inspiration even. Watch what happens with your light. Remember, we are photonic beings. Our little cellular structure emits light, photonic light. And the more of those cells that are lit up and emitting that photonic light, the brighter you are. The more you know that too, the more you glow, because you're clearing out the stuff that stops you from glowing. So it's a wonderful thing. And we can be our own Christmas trees, you know. You don't need to drag a tree in from the outside or from the cellar and put it up in your house. Okay, anyway. Don't get me started on it. The Wheel of Fortune. I know everybody loves it. I know. You should see my family right now. They're just like, you're not what? I'm not into Christmas. I'm really not. The Wheel of Fortune is what Spirit's saying. You know why? They're telling us that things are moving, cycles are, you know, keeping on going, moving through, you know, the things that we need to do because our lights are shining. And that's how we do it. We move through. We shine bright. We move through and into a new space or a new timeline or a new, again, vibrational, elevated place. Spirit's letting us know they're with us. They're helping us navigate some of these cycles, navigate some of these situations we're moving through. I like them too. Yeah, hey, everybody. You know, and navigate the ups and downs. This stuff especially. Listen, we are energy beings. You don't want a flat line. You don't want everything completely balanced all the time. You want to enjoy that. That's what we're here for. But if you're dipping too much or staying in the dip too long, you've got to work something different for yourself. The vibration, we're not supposed to struggle all the damn time. We're not supposed to live in survival mode, in fear mode. We're not. The powers that were, for entertainment purposes only, want you there. You know why? Because you are way easier to control when you're down here. Way easier to control and way easier to siphon energy from. So no wonder we all feel so damn drained, right? We all feel so weakened by the end of the week. Just because they change the letters doesn't mean that don't mean the same thing with the words. Have you ever noticed that about English? You have a number of different ways to spell some of, you know, certain words. And although they sound the same, they mean different things based on the way they're spelled. Spell. Spelling. What do we do with words? We cast spells. What do they do with words? They cast spells. It's really important for us to know that. So yeah, check out the body module of the Sovereignty Trifecta, because you'll learn what legalese is all about and all of that other stuff. Once you learn, again, the more you know, the more you glow. And when you are so bright that the darkness can't touch you, cannot enslave you and keep you bound any longer, now that's what you're here for, isn't it? Okay. I should have my Shine Your Light t-shirt on, but I think I wore it last week, so anyway. All right, let's check out the brick. Hey to everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for shining your light and joining me here tonight to shine our lights together, which is a whole lot of namaste going on. All right. 6th of December. Before you know it, boom, solstice will be here. Wow. It's a wonderful time to engage with abundance. Because everybody's talking about abundance. 'Tis that season, right? People think about Lots of stuff, lots of family gatherings, lots of love, lots of joy, lots of happiness, lots of celebration, lots of festivities, lots of gifts, lots of food, lots of laughs, lots of love, appreciation. I'm grateful for the abundance in my life. As I direct my thoughts towards all that is wonderful in my world, my troubles and worries lighten. With a full heart, I appreciate all that I have. Today, I accept what is as it is and choose to be satisfied. I express my loving thanks to the universe for the wealth that is mine. You know, we are wealthy, incredibly wealthy. And I know that many of us are struggling financially, but when you think about what it is you're struggling with, when you think about what others around the world or in other situations are struggling with, we really are in a pretty good place for the most part. Yeah, you know, times are tough for a lot of us. We're paying ridiculous amounts for houses and food and all kinds of stuff here, especially here in Canada. But when you think about where other people are in the rest of the world and what they can afford for themselves, what's available to them, and that the fact that we struggle to pay for the roof over our head is still there, and we do manage. You know, the food that we do end up eating, which some people don't have at all. The phones we're watching or the computers we're watching each other on. Like these are the things that make us truly wealthy in a lot of different ways. But really, the true wealth within is knowing who we are, knowing who we really are, and truly, and I mean truly, appreciating that we are divine beings, incredible beings who came here for this time because of all of those adversities, right? All of those things that are pushing at us, pushing against us, and that we are now sharpening, our skills and honing ourselves against those pieces of coal that are becoming diamonds based on the pressures that we're enduring and making it through. We are supposed to be crystalline beings. We are making our way back to that, remember? Very, very dense carbon-based energy. Once we clear all that stuff out and we elevate to those higher awarenesses, and when you learn who you really are and what you're all about, the diamond just reveals itself. Incredible. So, Modern Merlin, Magic and Manifestation, Modern Merlin Oracle by Lon, L-O-N. Just happened to discover this when I was at my distributors not long ago. The inside here says, well, actually, as you may have figured out, he led me to it. Because, of course, he was like, okay, it's time for a breath of fresh air. Like, I need another deck, but he said I did need this. But anyway, the only limits to what we can create are the boundaries set by our own imagination. He likes to say those kinds of things. That's his deal. So this is Modern Merlin. And I really like these cards. The energy is really, really cool. Yeah. So here we go. Shuffle once more, he says. All right. I will shuffle once more. Your deck, your deal. What do I know? 12 years I've been working with Merlin. 13 years, excuse me. Stand corrected. I have not always been that good at math. He says I'm not very good at math. Okay. In a joking way. He's never degraded me. Never once has he talked down to me. He pokes fun. He rips me a lot. Teases me quite often, but anyway. Okay. Now, weren't we just talking about this kind of thing? Look at this. Look at this gorgeous card. Isn't that something? And look at the word gratitude. Gratitude and be thankful, it says at the bottom. What a stunning card. These are just beautiful cards. I highly recommend these cards, by the way. I've worked with them a little bit already, and I just, yeah, highly recommend them. Okay, here we are. Gratitude. We're going to keep it short because there's quite a bit here. Gratitude has been described as the ultimate state of receiving. We feel grateful when we get something that we wanted or that pleases us, when we've reached a goal, or when we've realized a dream or vision. Like love and joy, gratitude is one of the highest frequency emotions we can feel. Feeling grateful raises the vibration of our energy, which has a healing and harmonizing effect not only on our body, but also on our whole being. The longer we spend in gratitude, the more the healing properties of its high frequency influence us and the healthier we become. And actually, that's true. If you look up Dr. Bruce Bruce Lipton's work, yeah, okay, get it. Anyway, Bruce Lipton's work, Wisdom of the Cells, he actually talks about how gratitude has been scientifically noted, we'll say, to actually elongate our life, to give us longevity. And when we are in places of gratitude, our telomeres and telomeres that are actually our DNA loop things, they actually replicate based on that vibration, which, again, gives you a longer life. Anyway, my little side note there. I'm sorry. I have lots of stuff to share. In addition to the instant harmonizing and healing effects of gratitude on our well-being, the high vibrational energy sends a signal out into the larger energetic field that surrounds us, and the universe reciprocates. The energy in this field, in response to the signal, will react and rearrange itself to match that signal. It will start drawing people and circumstances to us that are in alignment with the energy of our gratitude. In short, it means that our gratitude will create more of whatever we're grateful for. This is the law of attraction that states that which is, or excuse me, that like attracts like. That which is like unto itself is drawn. Yeah. It's really good. Collectively, we're transitioning from 3D-based reality in which we emphasize the external to a multidimensional and 5D consciousness in which we are aware of the interconnectedness between everything. This reality includes our internal world of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. We're beginning to realize the great influence of what we think and feel internally on the events and manifestations in our outer world. You can't make this stuff up, folks. I'm just going to read the rest of this part. Gratitude is a powerful generator to manifest what we desire. So is appreciation, by the way. The law of attraction does not differentiate between what has already happened and what we envision will and can happen. This field responds to the energy of gratitude itself, whether manifested or not. This makes gratitude one of the most powerful and beautiful tools for a modern magician to perform their magic. Kind of just like that appreciation card, right? That's what we're saying. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, there we are. Gratitude. Be in a place of gratitude. Be in a space and a vibration of gratitude. And watch what happens. And I've often said, so I'll say it again, gratitude is a great place to be. It's the tipping point, right? Like if you're not in a good place, find something to be grateful for. It helps to pull you up into places that you are easier able to navigate out of those places that you're not happy. Because there's always something to be grateful for in your life. Like, I mean, everything, even if it's completely unrelated to where you are, what you're upset about, or what you're disappointed in, or whatever the case may be, there's always something to be grateful for. Again, you have hydro, you have internet, you have a phone you're watching it on, a computer you're watching it on, whatever, a TV you're watching, whatever it might be, where a lot of people don't have that. Do you know the homelessness situation in our world, especially this Western Hemisphere right now, like the North American experience? Wow. More people, I think, are homeless in North America right now than have ever been before. Like, that's staggering. Absolutely astounding when you think about it. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be. So, and it's because they're part of a collective that they've experienced something with that they're helping the rest of us recognize. In polarity, maybe out of gratitude, where we all are, where we aren't. But you're in that place of gratitude, you are reached the tipping point. Once you've made it to that place of, okay, now I'm out of this hole, I'm grateful for being here because I'm not here anymore thing, and you're focused mostly on the I'm so grateful that I'm here, right? Because your focus has to be predominantly there. Then you can move into that appreciation. Once you hold appreciation, all that other stuff just goes away. And then you can really maintain a vibration of appreciation much easier than if you're constantly dipping up and down with the gratitude. Gratitude is fabulous. Absolutely love it and totally recommend it for everybody. Use it all the time myself. But appreciation, and Abraham will teach you the same thing. Appreciation takes you into a higher vibration where it's only love. There's no polarity, there's no duality, there's no remembering where you were and being grateful for where you are instead of that. Constantly teeter-tottering with that. So move from gratitude, work it first. There's plenty for us to be grateful for. And then be in a place of appreciation. Here, remember? Maybe that's the part. Maybe that's the point to this card for people. That, you know, it's that whole staying in a place of gratitude and appreciation, right? That you're able to fight the dragon. You can do that. And remember, sometimes those thoughts aren't yours. Sometimes those thoughts are being influenced by other forces. Get a clearing. Till the 10th, it's $100 off. You can't beat that. I'm telling you, you would not believe the crap that comes off of people's energy fields. Insane. So that you can shine bright, highly recommend that too. Get your light going. Shine your light bright. Most of us really only emit about, well, we emit full source light, but we only shine at a light quotient, in a lot of cases, at about 25 to 30%. If you're lucky enough to be there. So most people are like 10, 15%. What that means is only 10 or 15% of your body is actually, your magnetic field, your biofield is actually shining photonically, energetically. We all think, oh, we're light, you know, we're light beings and we're fully light. We got a lot of stuff to clear out. It's not our fault. It's because it's because the outfits you're wearing are full of stuff. All of this meat suit stuff. Time to clear it all out. Time to know thyself. Time to be true to you. Yeah, be true, be you. And honor your source. The source that sent you here. The prime creator. Think about that for a moment. The prime creator. There have been many creators over the course of our existence here. There's only one. It can be traced back to the very first one. So, Modern Merlin, gratitude, be thankful, but appreciate. Once you got through that thankful stuff and the gratitude stuff, appreciate. And then remember, Spirit's with us, not only to help us shine our lights bright, but to keep us shining through the cycles, the ups, the downs, the fluctuations that are absolutely inevitable right now, because this is the darkest time for us. Right here, right now, on this part of the world, in this part of the world, rather, and in this northern hemisphere stuff. This is the last of the darkest time. When the solstice comes, the light's reborn. And then it starts to get really, really strong, and that's where we're working it. That's what we're here for. Best way to do it. And learn. Learn who you are, where you're from, what you're all about, how you get off this ride. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's Saturday night. You've probably been doing all kinds of other things at other places with other people, but chose to be here with me. Together, we're shining light. Yay. So namaste to each and every one of you who watch this. The light in me honors the light in you. I see the light in you where it is, where you are. And when I'm in that place in me, and you're in that place in you, together we are one light. Namaste. Until next week. See you then. Take care. Ride it out. It's a powerful week coming. Take care.